What if 2025 could be the year you completely transform into the person you've always wanted to be, an unshakable, empowered version of yourself? Imagine waking up every day with clarity, purpose, and the confidence that no matter what life throws at you, you'll stand firm, calm, and in control. This isn't a fantasy. It's a reality the Stoics believed was possible for anyone willing to embrace their teachings. The truth is, the Stoics saw life as a blank canvas, with each day offering an opportunity to start fresh, to learn, and to grow. Did you know that Epictetus, born into slavery, became one of the greatest philosophers in history? He didn't just endure hardship, he used it as fuel to recreate himself, proving that your past doesn't define your future. If he could rise above the most challenging circumstances, what's stopping you from doing the same? Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt stuck? Stuck in a cycle of frustration, self-doubt, or feeling like you're not living up to your potential? Maybe you've tried to change before, but the same habits, fears, and doubts keep pulling you back. You're not alone. We've all been there. But here's the good news. The Stoics left us a timeless roadmap to break free from these chains and step into a life of wisdom, resilience, and strength. In this video, we're going to walk through, step by step, how to use these ancient principles to reinvent yourself for 2025. You'll learn how to assess where you are, define who you want to become, and take deliberate actions to align your life with your vision. This isn't about quick fixes or surface-level changes. It's about creating a foundation so strong that no storm can shake it. Whether you're facing challenges in your personal life, career, or relationships, the Stoic approach will give you practical tools to overcome obstacles, master your emotions, and focus on what truly matters. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear and actionable plan to rebuild yourself into the person you've always aspired to be. So, are you ready to let go of the things holding you back and take the first step toward becoming your most resilient, unshakable self? Let's begin. Before we dive into the process of reinventing yourself, let's first explore the philosophy that makes this transformation possible. Stoicism isn't just an abstract idea, it's a practical framework for living a meaningful life. Originating in ancient Greece, Stoicism was founded by Zeno of Citium around 300 BCE. It later flourished in Rome, where it became a guiding philosophy for emperors, statesmen, and everyday people. When we think of Stoicism, three key figures come to mind. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king who ruled the Roman Empire. Epictetus, the slave-turned-philosopher whose teachings have inspired millions. And Seneca, the statesman and playwright who wrote about resilience and self-discipline. These men faced immense challenges, wars, betrayal, and personal tragedies. Yet they remained steadfast, guided by the core principles of Stoicism. At its heart, Stoicism revolves around three central tenets: control, virtue, and acceptance. Control means recognizing what's within your power, your thoughts, actions, and attitudes, and letting go of what isn't, like the opinions of others or the randomness of life. Virtue is about striving to be your best self through wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. And acceptance? That's learning to embrace life as it is, not as you wish it to be. But why does a philosophy from thousands of years ago matter today, in 2025? Let's face it, modern life is chaotic. We're constantly bombarded with information, distracted by technology, and pressured to live up to unrealistic expectations. Anxiety, burnout, and dissatisfaction have become the norm for many. This is where Stoicism becomes a lifeline. Its timeless principles cut through the noise, offering clarity and focus in a world that often feels overwhelming. Stoicism teaches you to filter out what doesn't matter and to ground yourself in what does. It's a philosophy for anyone who wants to thrive amidst uncertainty and complexity. Take Epictetus, for instance. He didn't let the injustice of his enslavement define him. Instead, he focused on what he could control, his mind and his character. His story reminds us that no matter the circumstances, we have the power to shape our inner world. Let me share a story. A friend of mine, let's call him David, once felt trapped in a cycle of frustration and self-doubt. He had a high-pressure job, constant family obligations, and little time for himself. Every small setback, whether it was a critical email or a traffic jam, felt like a personal attack. He knew he couldn't keep living like that, so he turned to Stoicism. One principle that resonated with him was the idea of the dichotomy of control. David began asking himself, "Is this within my power to change?" If the answer was no, he let it go. Over time, he stopped sweating the small stuff and started focusing on his own growth. Today, he's more balanced, confident, and in control. Not because life became easier, but because his mindset did. Now that you understand the foundation of Stoicism and why it's so relevant, let's move to the part you've been waiting for. The step-by-step process to recreate yourself, like a Stoic, in 2025. Each step is rooted in ancient wisdom, but designed for the challenges of the modern world. Get ready to take control, embrace virtue, and craft a life of true resilience. Step 1. Assess your current self. Before you can rebuild yourself, you need to understand who you are today. This is where self-awareness comes in, and for the Stoics, self-awareness was a cornerstone of personal growth. They believed in the power of reflection, not just occasionally, but as a daily practice. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, captured this perfectly when he wrote, "Examine yourself and your actions daily." He would spend his evenings reflecting on his thoughts, decisions, and interactions, asking himself if he had lived in accordance with virtue. This practice wasn't about self-criticism, it was about clarity. What did I do well today? Where did I fall short? What could I do better tomorrow? By examining their own lives, the Stoics created a feedback loop of continuous improvement. And this practice is as relevant now as it was 2,000 years ago. To start your journey of reinvention, let's engage in a practical exercise rooted in Stoic self-reflection. Grab a journal or a piece of paper and take 10 minutes to answer these questions. 1. What are your strengths? What do you do well? What values or traits make you proud of yourself? 2. What are your weaknesses? Where do you feel you're falling short, whether in your habits, mindset, or actions? 3. What areas of your life could use growth? Are there specific skills, relationships, or patterns that need attention? Now comes the most important part. Apply the Stoic dichotomy of control. As you review your answers, separate what you can and cannot control. For instance, you might write down that you're frustrated with a colleague's behavior at work. But is that within your control? No. What you can control is how you respond to them, with patience and understanding, or with frustration and anger. This exercise is more than just writing. It's about shifting your perspective. By distinguishing what's in your power, you'll begin to see the things that truly deserve your energy. Let me share an example of how powerful this practice can be. A few years ago, I was at a crossroads in my own life. I felt overwhelmed by responsibilities, frustrated with certain relationships, and unsure of where I was heading. One evening, inspired by Marcus Aurelius, I decided to sit down and write out my thoughts. I listed my strengths, my ability to connect with others, and my drive to learn. Then, my weaknesses, procrastination, overthinking, and a tendency to dwell on others' opinions. Finally, I identified areas for growth. I needed to focus on my health, set boundaries, and take more ownership of my time. The breakthrough came when I separated what I could and couldn't control. I couldn't change how others behaved, but I could control my reactions. I couldn't undo past mistakes, but I could choose how to move forward. That night marked the beginning of a transformation, not because my circumstances changed, but because my mindset did. Now that you've taken this important first step and gained clarity about where you stand, it's time to look forward. Self-awareness is only the foundation. Next, we'll craft a vision of the person you want to become. Imagine a version of yourself who embodies resilience, wisdom, and calm in every situation. In the next step, we'll design that vision and map out exactly how to bring it to life. Stay with me. You're about to uncover the blueprint for your reinvention. Step 2. Define your ideal self. Now that you've assessed your current self, it's time to define the person you want to become. For the Stoics, transformation begins with a foundation of virtues, 4 guiding principles that are as relevant today as they were in ancient Rome: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Wisdom is the ability to see the world clearly and make decisions based on reason rather than emotion. Courage isn't just physical bravery. It's the strength to face adversity, speak the truth, and stand by your principles. Justice is about fairness, not just to others, but to yourself, ensuring you treat everyone with respect and dignity. Finally, temperance means self-control, the discipline to resist excess and stay balanced. Imagine these virtues as a compass. Whenever you feel lost or unsure, they can guide you back to your true north. The Stoics believed that living virtuously was the key to happiness and fulfillment. If you align your vision of your ideal self with these principles, you'll create a version of yourself that thrives in any circumstance. Let's take this one step further with a visualization exercise. Close your eyes and picture yourself at the end of 2025. You've undergone a profound transformation, and you're now living as your ideal self. What does this version of you look like? How do they carry themselves in difficult situations? Imagine their calmness when facing challenges, their patience in moments of frustration, and their ability to inspire others through their actions. Now, ask yourself these questions. What virtues define this version of you? Are you embodying wisdom, making thoughtful decisions? Are you courageous, standing firm in your beliefs and facing difficulties head-on? Are you just treating others fairly and living with integrity? And are you temperate, maintaining balance in every aspect of your life? This vision isn't just about imagining, it's about setting a clear direction. The more vivid and specific you can be, the easier it will be to align your daily actions with this version of yourself. To make your vision tangible, let's create a Stoic manifesto. This document will serve as your personal guide, a reminder of who you're striving to become and the principles you'll live by. Here's how to get started. 1. Begin with your guiding virtues. Write down what wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance mean to you personally. 2. List your core principles. These could include: I will focus only on what I can control. I will act with integrity in every situation. Or, I will seek growth in adversity. 3. Set specific goals for the year. Maybe it's mastering a skill, improving your relationships, or cultivating inner peace. To inspire your manifesto, look to Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. His writings weren't meant for anyone else. They were personal reflections to keep him aligned with his values. Use this approach to write your manifesto, keeping it private if you wish, but letting it serve as a beacon for your transformation. Your vision is now clear, and your principles are set. But here's where most people falter. They stop at planning. Stoicism, however, demands more. It's not enough to think about your ideal self. You have to act. As Epictetus reminds us, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. In the next step, we'll explore how to align your daily actions with your vision and principles. Because transformation isn't built on ideas alone, it's built on consistent, purposeful action. Let's move forward. Step 3. Take small, consistent actions. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's not about grand gestures or sudden breakthroughs. It's about small, consistent actions that compound over time. As Epictetus wisely said, well-being is attained little by little, and nevertheless is no little thing. The Stoics understood this deeply. They didn't strive for perfection in a single day. Instead, they committed to daily practice, knowing that every small step taken with intention would lead to profound change over time. This isn't just ancient wisdom, it's backed by modern psychology. Habits and consistency are what shape our identity. Think of your journey as climbing a mountain. Each step may seem insignificant, but every one of them gets you closer to the peak. The same applies to your Stoic transformation. By focusing on manageable actions, you create momentum and make lasting change inevitable. To align your actions with your vision, you need to build daily habits rooted in Stoicism. Let's start with your mornings. Morning preparation is a cornerstone of Stoic practice. Begin each day by setting your intentions. Ask yourself, what challenges might I face today? How can I respond to them virtuously? Marcus Aurelius would prepare himself by imagining the types of people he might encounter, those who are difficult, impatient, or unkind. This exercise isn't about anticipating failure, but preparing your mind to remain steady and resilient. Then, as the day comes to a close, turn to evening reflection. This practice is vital for growth. At night, ask yourself, what did I do well today? Where did I fall short? How can I improve tomorrow? As Seneca said, we should every night call ourselves to account. What infirmity have I mastered today? What passions opposed? What temptation resisted? What virtue acquired? By starting with intention and ending with reflection, you create a loop of continuous improvement, ensuring that every day builds on the last. To make these habits actionable, let's explore a few simple practices you can incorporate into your day. First, practice gratitude. Each morning or evening, write down 3 things you're grateful for. This shifts your focus from what's lacking to what you already have, cultivating contentment and perspective. Next, engage in mindfulness or negative visualization. Take a moment to imagine losing something you value, a job, a relationship, or even your health. This may seem counterintuitive, but the Stoics believe this practice helps you appreciate what you have while preparing you to face loss with grace. Finally, focus on one Stoic principle per day. For example, dedicate Monday to practicing temperance, ensuring balance in your actions. On Tuesday, focus on courage, taking a step outside your comfort zone. Over time, these small practices will become second nature, transforming the way you approach life. Of course, the path to transformation is rarely smooth. Setbacks are inevitable, but how you respond to them defines your progress. The Stoics saw obstacles not as roadblocks, but as opportunities. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When you encounter failure or frustration, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this challenge strengthen me? For the Stoics, even adversity was a teacher. If you lose your temper, see it as a chance to practice patience. If you make a mistake, use it as an opportunity to cultivate humility. Reframing setbacks in this way shifts your perspective from victimhood to empowerment. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Every misstep is a step forward when you learn from it. Now, you've laid the groundwork. You've assessed yourself, defined your vision, and begun taking consistent actions. But there's one element that can either strengthen or derail your progress: your emotions. The Stoics understood that mastering your emotions is the key to staying grounded, resilient, and true to your path. So, in the next step, we'll explore how to cultivate emotional mastery like a Stoic, ensuring nothing shakes your resolve. Step 4. Master your emotions. Imagine this. A sudden wave of anger, frustration, or fear hits you like a storm. You feel overwhelmed, powerless to control the surge of emotions. But what if I told you that these emotions aren't facts, they're judgments? The Stoics believed that emotions are not imposed upon us by the world, but are our own interpretations of events. As Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." This means that the root of your emotions lies not in what happens to you, but in how you perceive it. Marcus Aurelius echoes this wisdom, reminding us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This simple yet profound truth is the cornerstone of emotional mastery in Stoicism. By reframing your emotions as judgments, you regain the power to respond rationally and virtuously, rather than reacting impulsively. How, then, do you master your emotions in the face of life's inevitable challenges? The Stoics provide us with practical techniques to navigate even the most turbulent emotional waters. The first technique is cognitive distancing. When an emotion arises, pause and ask yourself, is this reaction based on fact, or is it my interpretation? By separating yourself from the initial judgment, you create space to evaluate the situation with clarity. For example, if someone criticizes you, instead of immediately feeling hurt or defensive, consider, is this criticism valid? Does it reflect on me or on the other person's perspective? Next, practice the pause before reaction. This is a powerful tool for preventing emotional outbursts. Whenever you feel anger, frustration, or fear bubbling up, take a moment to breathe deeply. Count to 10 if necessary. This brief pause allows your rational mind to take the reins, guiding your response toward wisdom and self-control. Finally, focus on what you can control. The Stoics teach us that we cannot control other people's actions, opinions, or even external circumstances. What we can control is our own thoughts, choices, and responses. By redirecting your energy toward what lies within your power, you free yourself from the chaos of trying to control the uncontrollable. Let me share a story to illustrate how these techniques can be applied in real life. There was a time when I faced an incredibly frustrating situation at work. A colleague had taken credit for a project I had worked tirelessly on. My initial reaction was anger, an overwhelming urge to confront them in the heat of the moment. But then, I remembered the Stoic principle of cognitive distancing. I paused and asked myself, what's truly happening here? Is my anger justified, or is it my ego feeling bruised? I realized that while the situation was unfair, my reaction would only make things worse. Instead of lashing out, I focused on what I could control, presenting my contributions clearly and calmly in the next meeting. The result? Not only was I able to showcase my work without unnecessary conflict, but I also gained the respect of my peers for handling the situation with grace. This experience taught me that mastering emotions isn't about suppressing them. It's about transforming them into responses that align with your values. Now, you've built a solid foundation, defined your ideal self, taken consistent action, and learned to master your emotions. Each step has brought you closer to becoming the person you aspire to be. But transformation isn't just about what you know, it's about how you live. In the next step, We'll explore how to embody your new identity every single day, ensuring that your Stoic principles aren't just ideas, but a way of life. Let's make this transformation permanent. Step 5. Embody your new identity. Now comes the most crucial step, embodying the identity of your ideal self every single day. The Stoics didn't merely talk about virtue, they lived it. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, faced immense pressure, betrayal, and even plagues. Yet his actions reflected his principles, proving that true Stoicism isn't about perfection, but consistency. To live like a Stoic, start by practicing the virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance in your daily life. Ask yourself, am I acting with wisdom when I make decisions? Am I showing courage when faced with fear? Am I being just and fair in my interactions? Am I exercising temperance in my desires and impulses? These questions will anchor your actions to your principles. But embodying Stoicism isn't just about what you do when others are watching. It's about the quiet, personal moments. It's in how you respond to a driver cutting you off in traffic, how you handle a mistake at work, or how you treat someone who has wronged you. Being a Stoic means walking the talk, living in alignment with your values, no matter the situation. As you live your new identity, challenges will inevitably arise. The world doesn't pause for your transformation. How do you stay resilient without losing sight of your path? The Stoics remind us to expect adversity. Life will test you with external criticism, unexpected setbacks, and moments of doubt. Epictetus taught that these challenges are opportunities for growth. Difficulties show what men are. Instead of avoiding discomfort, embrace it as a chance to strengthen your character. When faced with criticism, practice equanimity. Ask yourself, is this criticism valid? If it is, learn from it without defensiveness. If it isn't, let it pass without attachment. Remember, the opinions of others are outside your control. They cannot harm your inner peace unless you allow them to. For setbacks, adopt Marcus Aurelius's mindset. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Every obstacle you encounter is a chance to practice resilience and creativity, aligning your response with your principles. Reinvention isn't a one-time event, it's a lifelong journey. Even as you embody your new identity, there's always room to refine and grow. The Stoics viewed life as a constant process of learning and self-improvement. Revisit your Stoic manifesto regularly. Are the goals you set still relevant? Are there new areas of growth to pursue? Treat your manifesto as a living document, a reflection of your evolving self. Seek out wisdom from books, mentors, and experiences. As Seneca advised, as long as you live, keep learning how to live. This commitment to growth ensures that your reinvention remains dynamic, adaptable, and enduring. Let me leave you with a story. There was a man who, like many of us, felt lost in the chaos of life. He struggled with anger, doubt, and a lack of direction. One day, he discovered the teachings of Stoicism and decided to reinvent himself. Through daily reflection, small but consistent actions, and a commitment to embody the virtues, he transformed into a calm, resilient, and focused version of himself. That man could be anyone, including you. The power to change is within your grasp. By living like a Stoic, you not only reinvent yourself, but also inspire those around you to do the same. Your journey doesn't end here. It begins. In the final moments of this video, I'll share how to sustain this transformation and live a life of purpose, resilience, and virtue. Stay with me. As we near the end of this journey, let's take a moment to reflect on the steps that can lead you to a complete transformation in 2025. First, you assessed your current self. gaining clarity on your strengths, weaknesses, and what's within your control. You recognize that self-awareness is the foundation of growth. Next, you defined your ideal self, a vision grounded in the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. You created a roadmap for the person you aspire to become. Then came the power of small, consistent actions. You learned the importance of daily practices like setting intentions in the morning and reflecting in the evening. Incremental progress, not giant leaps, is what fuels true transformation. We explored the art of mastering your emotions, understanding that they are judgments, not facts. By practicing pause and focusing on what's within your control, you found strength and clarity. Finally, you embraced the challenge of embodying your new identity. You committed to living the virtues in your daily life, staying resilient through setbacks, and pursuing continuous growth. These steps aren't just a checklist, they're a way of life, a path toward reinvention and resilience. The journey to recreate yourself is not an easy one. It demands discipline, reflection, and an unwavering commitment to growth. But the Stoics remind us that it is the hard path that leads to greatness. As Seneca said, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. In 2025, you have the power to rise above the noise, the doubt, and the fear. You can become the unshakable, empowered version of yourself you've always aspired to be. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Each step forward is a victory. Remember, the only limits are the ones you place on yourself. Make the choice today to step into your potential, embrace the virtues, and walk the Stoic path. You are capable of greatness. Now it's your turn. What's the first step you'll take to recreate yourself in 2025? Will it be journaling tonight, setting your intentions for the day tomorrow, or defining your Stoic manifesto? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your journey. If this video resonated with you, and you're ready to continue mastering Stoicism and building resilience, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I have more in-depth videos waiting for you, including one that dives into how to master Stoic resilience in everyday life. Hit that like button if you found this valuable, and share this video with someone who's ready to transform their life. Together, let's build a community of empowered, unshakable individuals committed to living with wisdom and virtue. Thank you for watching. Remember, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Until next time, stay resilient and keep walking the path of the Stoic.